All right, welcome to another episode of Geek-Men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. I'm Dustin, and I have a special guest with me today, and he's never been on the show before, so I'm excited to bring him on. And if I find my little button here, I will say, geez, I just had it. I'm so professional. Where'd it go? I could play any number of other random things. Oh, here we go. Here it is. All right, we have Harley here. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good, man. Glad to be on the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to have you on here. It's good to get some fresh meat.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna say, but yeah. So what have you been up to?
Oh man, what have I been up to? Well, the weather started to get really hot, like 90-degree days all of a sudden. So I've been nonstop working. As soon as it gets hot, my business goes fast. So the times I am, kind of just been hanging out. Been working on painting some stuff, not as much as I'd like to, but I've been doing Gundams, collecting figures, just watching cartoons and movies,
Yeah, so you have a couple fun little dudes that we'll get to here. So let's do our what's in the box.
Show you in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Right, so what have you gotten recently?
So I went to a small convention, a little comic show here in Salem, Oregon, a little ways from where I live, and walking around. I'm really didn't have much in the way of vendor, like not many toys, not too many comics, but it was a lot of like local artists and professional artists were there. I'm walking around with my son, and I see a guy named Dave Warren. Okay. Turns out he is an ex-animator for The Simpsons. He was on The Simpsons from seasons 13 through 19 and the movie, and he was lead animator for seasons 20 and 21, I think. Oh. So he was there, and I went up to him, and I'm a huge Simpsons fan.
Yeah.
And went up there and was talking to him for a little while. And turns out he was doing commissions, and he was only doing commissions for $20, which is, I don't know, like ridiculous cheap. So I asked him to do two. My best friend, he's a huge Simpsons junkie too, and I got him to draw him a birthday card of Millhouse for him there.
Oh, nice.
So I got Millhouse for my friend, and then, dude, while he was drawing Millhouse, I'm like, who do I get? It's got to be something. I've got an actual Simpsons animator here. I can't be Homer. I have to have something like a serious thing. So I eventually settled on Jasper. And he's like, I don't know if you remember the episode PTA Disbands where he becomes the teacher for Lisa's class, and he's like, staring at my sandals. Now that's a paddling the school canoe. Oh, you better believe that's a paddling. So yeah. Now, I told the guy.
Zoom in on that. Hang on. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I told the guy that now, when someone asks me, like, if my house is on fire, like, if your house is on fire, what's the one thing from your collection you're going to grab? It's going to be that drawing of Jasper.
Yeah.
I gotta get some frames for him, but his sketchbook was like an irregular size. It wasn't just like an 8x11 or a 5x10, or it's like a weird like 9.5 by 13 or something. So I think I'm gonna have to get custom frames for them, and that'll be coming soon. I did that. I do that Empire Toy Shop mystery Legion that he does. I do that like every time, and sometimes I got a Bog Goblin once. That was a big get. I got Vitus for one, and I just got my new one in, and I got this dude.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's really cool. I had my wife open the box for me while I was at work, and I'm like, hey, tell me if I'm gonna think it's cool or not. Don't tell me what it is, but just tell me if it's one you think I'm gonna like. And she goes, I don't know. He's kind of lame, really. So all day I'm like, oh man, I just got like a skeleton builder or something, And she and I'm like, I'm like texting her of like my lunch, I'm like, are you sure it's just lame? She's like, yeah, honest, I'm not messing with you. He's kind of lame. And I get home and it's this dude. I was like, what? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You say this guy's lame. He's like I'm like, this is like the one I'm the happiest to get,
Right. Oh man. That's
insane. And then I can't remember his name. Bardock? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. But he's really cool. And it was my birthday last Wednesday was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I got one of these little model kits that's it's like a little frog in a mixer with a cigar. It's really cool. It comes with enough parts to build two, and they're just slightly different. And this one, is the Toad, and I'm guessing he's the commander. He's got like the cigar and everything. And then there's 3 other heads, like a tree frog, like a poison dart frog, and stuff like that. And they're really cool. The only thing is they're so tiny. They're like, dude, these things are like $50 for like a 2-inch model, and don't get me wrong, they're really, really awesome. And I mean, he's a little frog guy. He could fit in with anything, but I wish he was a little bigger.
I'm sure that can be said for a lot of things.
Yeah. Hey, that's what she said, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I was really surprised at the size of these Dragon Ball figures.
Yeah.
It's not 112, but they're sort of supposed to be 112, but they're not. And so it's like, it was just a confusing, well, that's interesting, but I don't know. It was just they're so cool. They're so much fun to play with. Dude,
that's the Figure Arts one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that import scale is a little weird, but I know what you mean. I love them, dude. I've only got a handful of the Dragon Ball Z ones, but I do I did like the Metal Heroes, the Space Sheriffs, like Space Sheriff Scheider and Sherivan, and I've got a few of the Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. Ones, Ultraman as well.
Yeah,
but I've kind of slowed down on that train for a while, bit since I've got all my favorite ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna be having a summer full of awesomeness, but I'm anxiously waiting for I got Brawly coming.
Mm-hmm.
I got Beast Gohan, and I got Orange Piccolo.
Dude, that Orange Piccolo is cool.
It's so awesome. And I really enjoyed that movie. So, and then I got this. So this is the yeah. So I got that, and I'm gonna clear off my desk and set it up and have some just having them chowing down and whatnot.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I've been tempted by that. I had about 4 or 5 of the power poles that it was like a Tamashii Nations just special item that had a Rose City Comic Con here in Portland. They were just at their booth, the Bluefin booth. They were just handing them out, just giving away these free power poles for your SH Figure Art Goku. And I had like a handful. They were just giving them out like hundreds. And I don't have any left, or else you'd be the first person I sent it to.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, that would be insane. Oh man, I dig it. I dig these figures though, but yeah, I found them to be a little shockingly small, but I don't know.
Yeah, the import line is a little small, and then like their joints, their little wrist joints, it's like every time I look at one, I think it's just gonna snap.
Yeah, you think so, but like they managed to not. Like, I'm surprised that they're so sturdy, but it's like I'm like I'm trying to be all delicate, like, oh, I need to just gently pop this on here, and it's just like then it takes a little bit more force because you had to put more elbow grease into it, and it's like, oh, dude, oh man, I'm gonna break this, and then no. But the only person I know that broke it is Zach. He broke Vegeta's neck.
Oh no!
And I also had a busted up Super Saiyan Blue Goku. His knee popped off and his butt wiggled, not like in a good way.
Yeah,
it was just like that. There's something shaking here, and it was his little butt flaps were shaking in the breeze. But yeah, so I don't know. I returned that one and got this one, which is much better.
So the new, like the update to the figure arts that they've done, like the new DBZ ones, like, I mean, they're great, but I mean, if you go back and you get like early, like 2010 figure arts of like this Kikaider here, he's just brittle, hard plastic, and if I drop him, he's just gonna shatter. You know, it's almost like he's made of like he's made of resin, you know, just poured resin. But I mean, not gonna get another Kikaider this cool. But then like they updated his for Kikaider 01, like his brother. He's good. He's Dragon Ball Z
quality
style good, yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. That's good to hear. It's never fun when your toys that you get break. It's so abysmal. But yeah, I don't know. It's good though. But okay, so let's talk about your little dude, the thing I had up for the Reveler. That I had the icon for the icon for the show.
So
your Doomsday Reveler.
Yeah. So one day I was just like scrolling through Instagram or something like that, and I've been way into scratch building mechs and robots, where I just take garbage and I glue it together and paint it, and it looks like a robot or a mech with beads and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And I was searching like scratch built stuff, and someone had made out of a pill bottle a little mech with a little calico critter. I don't know if you're familiar with the line. They're like the really little flocked fuzzy bunnies and kitties that, and they're just like little. It was awesome because it was like this little cute bunny that they even dirtied his clothes up and kind of gave him eyebrows and stuff, and it was just really cool. And I was like, well, that's my next project. So I'm like looking around my house when we go to the grocery shopping. I'm like, well, this Pringles container or this Lay's Stacks container, because it's plastic. I might be able to cut it up and make something and paint it all right. But no, I was watching a YouTube video of some Gundam kit reviews, and there's another like offshoot of it's made by Bandai, but it's called 30-minute missions, and they're just easy mechs to build in around 30 minutes. And they had this one that was called like a little armored mech version 2, just random little mech. And I saw that I'm like, these are really cool looking.
Mhm.
And I was like, I wonder if a calico critter head will fit on that to make it more of a power armor kind of thing, kind of Warhammery.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of them and they work. And so here's the little mech suit. He came with like a little circular head that I removed,
Yeah.
and I've painted him. He's like a little egg, kind of just like.
Yeah.
And then the calico critter. Yeah. And he fits perfect.
Nice.
And then I just got to get some accessory kits for this guy because they all have these little 5mm ports in the back that you could plug all sorts of guns and backpacks and rockets into.
Yeah.
And I had on the picture, you'll see he had a little cigarette and he had a eye patch.
Yeah.
But I had a barbecue recently with some people came over that had children that have never been to the collection house before, and they got a hold of it, and the cigarette and the eye patch are now gone. So,
bummer.
but eye patch will be easily made, and
Yeah.
I've got a lot more little cigarettes that I could use.
Yeah.
But so I've got 2 other bots that I need to paint. They're all primed and ready for paint, but I just sometimes, I'm like, I don't feel like painting today.
Yeah. That's been me for the last, I don't know, couple years. So
Yeah,
I feel that.
it comes in waves, man. Sometimes I'm like, I was way into Warhammer for a bit. That's actually where I got the name, the Revelers, the Doomsday Revelers, because I created my own Warhammer army. I custom painted all of them, and even did some of the McFarlane figures. Painted the Space Marines, the Ultramarines. Painted them kind of a different color blue, and just I was like, oh, this is my whole new army. And then I kind of was just like, yeah, I'm done with this.
Yeah, well, it's expensive hobby to get into.
It's an expensive hobby to get into. Now when I say I'm done with this, that doesn't mean I'm done with war. I love war. It's awesome. Right. I love Warhammer. But yeah, I kind of just went all in too fast.
Yeah.
I kind of was just like, oh my God, give me paint. I burned myself out.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll come back where all I'm going to want to do is paint Warhammer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just part of the cycle, I guess, because I've been there too. I mean, I was in my old place. I was up in the attic painting, and I painted a little army of Space Marines. I have Space Marines, Eldar, and some orcs, and yeah, I think that's all of it. But yeah, I just got a ton of stuff. Plus, I mean, it's a daunting game to even get into because there's setup time, and then there's talking about how to get it, how to do this, and how to do that, and it's just like it's so daunting.
There's so many rules.
Yeah,
there's so many rules, and the moves are long, and you roll 30 dice sometimes, and you're just like, I've watched live plays. I've been to game stores and watched them play, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's going to take me 6 months just to actually learn how to play a game that I'm sure I'm going to play wrong. Yeah. When I do play it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been there before, so yeah, I get it. I don't know, but it's fun, and I think it would be good to have. I don't know. I haven't sold any of my stuff.
Dude, nobody sells their Warhammer stuff. People sell their Warhammer stuff. They do. But when I say like nobody sells their Warhammer stuff, when you do find Warhammer stuff, it is expensive. Like I've been reading the novels, and some of the novels, some of the art books just go for outrageous prices. And if you go to used bookstores and stuff, like it's like, oh, here's all your Dritz books and all your Dragonlance, but not very many used Warhammer books. And the ones that you do find are trashed. Because they've been read so much. It's like Warhammer stays in people's collections. It does. They don't go anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good point, because I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine it. First of all, it's daunting to even think about selling it.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like, I mean, that's the main reason why I haven't ever gotten rid of pretty much anything. Like, as far as I'm really into Magic, the Gathering, and it's like I never got rid of any of my cards. I think I, maybe traded some to a store to get credit or something so I could play a game, but I think that was it. And it's just like, you usually end up regretting getting rid of them.
Yeah, dude, I just got a bunch of the Goblin Magic the Gathering Goblin cards, like a stack like that thick, because I'm gonna make a gaming table here this summer. It's gonna be my summer project, and for the lid, I'm either going to use a piece of tempered glass. Which might be really expensive to get a big 6 by 3 foot sheet of tempered glass, for the top, or plexiglass, or just Mod Podge resin the top of the thing. And I'm going to use cards. I'm going to put cards on the top. And like I don't know, just imagine like a bunch of cards face up, Magic cards, G.I. Joe trading cards, any cards, Dragon Ball Z cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, just all the cool ones, all the ones that, of course, I'm like, oh, this is cool, and put a face up Ninja Turtle trading cards, everything, and just over, like, with a piece of glass over it, and it's kind of just going to be like another display piece. It's gonna be cool. So I have a friend who's got, I don't know, his whole living room is just wall to wall boxes of Magic cards, and I'm like, do you have any Goblin cards? He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I'll give you a whole bunch. Yeah, like you said, it's about like a whole deck box full of just a bunch of his spare Goblins. And he gave me the Dritz and Guinevere ones, from Forgotten Realms. Those cards too. He gave me those for that as well, and that'll be pretty cool. Yeah. So cards have been something that I've been kind of on the eye out for, to kind of think of, like, oh, this one will be good for the table, or this one will be, I used to have, I don't have it anymore. I really wish I did, because it's just so goofy. Is I had Armageddon cards, the Bruce Willis movie Armageddon. Like, it was just like a trading card with Bruce Willis and his like drilling team, and it's like Armageddon, and I was where, like, it was something I had from long ago, man, and I don't know where it's at. I'm like, why did I have an Armageddon card? Where did I get, like, who has Armageddon?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That's
just like a weird thing and hey, we're on the topic of cards. We're gonna keep this going. All right. So I just looked over and saw this card. So my son, he's got a bunch of Pokemon cards. He's 8 years old. Right? He's got a bunch of Pokemon cards. And he's got them all stacked up in his room, and it's like, and I go in there and I'm like, oh yeah, let me take a look at his Pokemon cards. He might have gotten some new recently that I wasn't aware of, to check. And what card do you think it wasn't at the very bottom, maybe about 7 or 8 up from the bottom, maybe to try to hide it from me or his mom. Why it was this sexy Vampirella card.
Oh.
Hidden at the bottom of his Pokemon stack. And I'm like, hey dude, what's up with this card? He's like, that's not mine. That's not mine. And I'm like, dude, it's okay, And he's like, it's not mine. You can have it. Here, put it in your room. I don't even know why it's in my cards. I'm like, dude, it's no big deal, man. I was just gonna give him some shit about it, like,
Yeah.
oh, like, dude,
What were
yeah,
what were you thinking?
yeah.
No,
So,
I
yeah.
totally get that. I mean, you're talking to a guy who got like a magazine for a Tomb Raider style guide, and my mom went in with permanent marker and like colored over her boobs to give her a more less revealing clothesline and stuff like that. Like,
Hey, man, those triangles were pretty cool back in the time.
oh yeah, it was. And there was always that the rumored like nude code.
Yep.
It's like, oh, if you do this thing and this thing and this thing and then this other thing and punch this, and then boom, she'll be naked, and it's just like,
dude, I remember the nude. I remember I did, so did I, and I remember rumored nude codes for Mortal Kombat, like where you could see Sonya and Katana naked, and I was like, oh my god, I have to see Katana naked. So it's like up, down, down, start, slowly up.
Yeah, it never worked for me.
It never worked, but it worked for my friend whose uncle worked at Nintendo. Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, always someone whose uncle worked at Nintendo and knew the real codes.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, to be that young again, and that stupid and naive, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like it's weird how they were like those. I guess maybe they're urban legends, but those like nationwide rumors that like somehow spread across, like that kid from the Wonder Years being Marilyn Manson. I don't know if you remember that one, or if you ever heard that one. You know that show, The Wonder Years.
Yeah.
That kid Paul with the glasses, the main kid's friend, was like at least around my school, and I heard it from others too, that was rumored to be Marilyn Manson when he was a kid.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, you never heard that one?
It's funny. It's funny because like I was talking to my buddy Kurt, and I was just like, oh yeah, it said something about ribs being taken out, and he's just like what? And I'm like, oh
yeah. He removed his ribs.
He removed his ribs so that way he could suck his own dick, and he's just like, yeah, I'm sure Marilyn Manson did that. No, yeah, just like they said that so and so did that in his day, and he named off some other random person. I forget who it was. It was famous. I'm shocked that I'm not remembering it, but he mentioned that like his era, and it's like, oh.
Like David Bowie probably did it or something.
There was some random thing like that. It's just like, oh, and I was just like all crestfallen. I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah. I guess. See, that rumor was out here on the West Coast too, man. So it's like we heard it. I'm wondering, like, these things must have been like in a movie or an episode of Pete and Pete or something. Like everybody had watched. I don't know. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, that was, oh goodness, that was something else. But oh well, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you mentioned books. Have you gotten any new book recently? Any new books?
Any new books? Oh, yeah.
That you're really into them.
Yeah. I've been getting into the Warhammer, like the old world, like not the 40K, but the old world. It's called Gotrek and Felix.
Okay.
And Gotrik's a little dwarf, and he's like on a pledge because he disgraced his name, so now he's got to go out and fight and die. That's like his thing. He's got to go die now. But he's just such a badass that he doesn't die. And he fights everything and he kills it. He wins every fight. And Felix is like this aristocratic, or like, and he Godric saves his life in a brawl, and so he's like feels that he owns like a servitude or indebted, like a life debt to him, Chewbacca, Han Solo type deal, and so he follows him around and chronicles his stories. And so the little dwarf is just always trying to find fights because he wants to die. He has to die. That's his thing. He has to die to bring honor back to him, to his family and stuff like that. But he just can't die. Because he's just such a badass. He wins every fight. Like they'll go. One of them they went to like a haunted house, like a haunted mansion or whatever, and like the one guy's Felix is like all trying to be all sneaky. He's like, oh, we can't disturb the ghosts or dead beings in here, while Godric, the little dwarf, just like bangs his axe on the wall. He's like, come and fight me, trying to wake up all the dead spirits. It's really cool. It's a really cool series, man. I think you dig it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'll have to write that down to try to find those. But,
and they come in omnibuses too, so you could get like 3 books in one.
Oh, okay, cool.
And this is another case where the omnibuses are cheap, or omnibuy, I guess, are cheap. For about $25 you could get them. But if I'm a weirdo, like I don't like omnibus, other than in comic book form. But like I like to have each individual paperback, like 1 through 10 instead of 3 omnibuses.
Yeah.
And dude, tracking down, and I got like the first printings of them too. And tracking down those, like the first mass market paperbacks of these for like decent prices and in good shape took me a while. And because I'm like, oh man, I want to read the next one. I might as well just get the omnibus. And I'm like, no, I could wait, Like,
yeah. It's always a tricky game to figure out how do I do this. Yeah, I mean, I'm into a couple different things. I'm into the Jim Butcher novels, the
Dresden stuff, right?
Dresden stuff, and this guy Craig Johnson with Longmire.
Okay.
And so it's like okay, I want to go back and get those books. I've read them all, because I listen to the audiobooks. But it's like I want to go back and get those books. So yeah.
Yeah, my stepmom is like fucking into Longmire, dude. Like that's her. Well, she's Native American. My stepmom. She's from the Mohawk tribe, and the character on the show, oh my gosh, the Native American guy on Longmire is like her. Is like her favorite, and like that's like her guy. She loves him.
Yeah, they call him the FBI. In the books, they call him the FBI, the effing huge Indian. And why can't I not think of his name? He was like one of the main guys.
And I'm trying to, and I know the actor so well who plays him too. And I'm like, there you go, Lou Diamond. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I cannot think of his name.
But yeah, she's like in love with that guy. She's in love with that character.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, he is definitely awesome. I think I've liked him in everything he's ever been in. To be honest, but yeah, good for her. Yeah, she's always like, if you ever want, I got all the Longmire books for you, and I'm like, shut up, Mom. Like if my stepmom likes it, I'm not going.
Oh,
dude, you should give them a shot. I'm
not that bad. I'm not that bad, but I know what you mean. Because I really like westerns. Westerns is one of my favorite genres, especially like the weird westerns, or maybe not so much weird westerns, but like brutal westerns. So not like so much as like a splatter western or anything like that, but But like, have you read any of Cormac McCarthy stuff, like The Road, or No Country for Old Men? You know that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
He wrote a book called Blood Meridian. That's a western, and it's just like it's great.
yeah. Well, I mean, you would like this book. My buddy wrote Year 47.
Year 47. Your friend wrote that?
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
wrote it,
cool.
and then I was in. I don't have it. It's over there. I was in. I wrote a story for that book too because he did like a collection of short stories
Okay.
called By Year's End, and so I was in that. I wrote
Oh,
a story for that. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Send me the details of that when we're done here.
yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I think you'd really like it.
Did you watch that movie Bone Tomahawk?
No, I want to though.
Dude, it's awesome. I love that movie. And when I got done watching that movie, I'm like, holy, like this movie is become, if not like one of my top favorites. Like I really loved it. And it said written by S. Craig Zoller.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, dude, if this guy wrote this good of a movie, like I wonder what other movies he's written. And that was his first movie that he ever wrote because he was a novelist before he wrote the movie. And
Yeah.
they're all like brutal, like just cool Western books. One's called, I got it right here. Where the hell is it? Right.
Henry
Right here.
Standing Bear. Jeez,
There we go.
Henry Standing Bear.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't see that. Ooh, nice.
Wraiths of the Broken Land is one that he wrote. He wrote in oh, there we go. Wraiths of the Broken Land by S. Craig Zoller there.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's got this one, and he's got another one that was called A Congregation of Jackals, kind of like what we're doing now. A
Yeah.
Congregation of Jackals, right?
Yeah.
but I got this for Christmas one year because I got the Congregation of Jackals, and I like just devoured it. And this one was a print on demand. Apparently, I don't know because it wasn't on Amazon, it wasn't on anything, but my wife found a way for me to get it, and it was print on demand because
Wow.
and but I found the Congregation of Jackals at my local library, the hardcover actually, and
Ooh, nice.
but would you believe that my dog destroyed it? He just chewed the hell out of it, and I felt so bad. I'm like this is a pretty uncommon book that, of course, my dog just had to chew it up. But no, these westerns, man, they're one of my favorite genres.
Sure.
Do you watch any of any western movies or anything?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just messaging me kids. I'm into, it's like a modern western, Yellowstone.
Yeah, I've heard good things of it.
Yeah, and then I've watched all the spin-offs. So like they did a 1688 or 1685 or something like that, and then a 1925. I've watched all of those. And I thought they're really good. And of course I've pretty much been raised on westerns and stuff.
Yeah, so did I. Like we only had cable so my dad could have the westerns channel.
Yeah, I mean it would have been on that pretty much all the time if my parents were still together, and yeah, I mean we would have been watching that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I have fond memories of that. But yeah, I mean I've seen like Lonesome Dove. I forget how many times, but I mean too many times to count, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen that. I've seen all the other good westerns, bad westerns, stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I dig it though.
Is that one of the your love for Longmire inspiration for your hat?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I just always, since I was a little kid, I always wanted a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And so when I was sick and in the hospital with cancer, my dad was just like, hey, when you get out of this, when you get through, I'm gonna buy you a cowboy hat. So
That's cool, man. I love that.
So yeah, so, and it's also a Dave Filoni hat, because I mean,
Oh
Dave
yeah, I
Filoni
guess so,
also
huh?
has a
Yeah,
yeah.
he
So
does.
it's like, oh, this is ironic. So it's just
That's cool, man.
full circle. Yeah, it's a full circle kind of moment. And I mean, I have tons of pictures of me as a little cowboy with my hat and holding my pistol and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So many of them. And it's just like, it's funny how like now it's like, I don't know, it's just crazy. It's I don't know, but yeah, I guess there's something always that I always wanted to have, I guess.
Cool, man.
But I mean, and the other thing is, I really enjoyed writing that story for my buddy.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to get in that mindset, and then it's been hard to come back out of that.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That is that book like available at like Barnes and Noble and stuff like that?
Well, definitely Amazon for sure.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Is it
Maybe
any
not Barnes and Noble, but
did he self-publish it or?
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. Yep. I think you might actually still have a few really nice copies of the hardcovers. If you reach out to Bo, on here, you can reach out to him. He might still have a copy left, because he did. It was Year 47 and By Year's End all put together, and he had a few other stories, but he did them in chronological order, because some of them were written, by different people like me, and so my story takes place at one point in time, and other people it took place at a different point in time, and so it's all spaced out throughout this culmination of this little collection of books. So it's really cool.
That does sound cool, man. I'll like I said, send me the information. I'll check them out.
Yeah, for sure. But so yeah, I mean, what is that? Let's see. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
That's me urging myself to come on, get with the program. Oh, yeah, I don't know. So, I don't know. What else have you been?
So one thing that's really cool is my wife has been designing and making soft goods for 112 action figures.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's one of the, like, a cape on the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, that she's been making a wired cape. She's got a couple more, but they're actually with a very good friend of mine named Vile Labs on Instagram. Okay. I don't know if you've seen him or stuff like that. Yeah, he's local guy, like really good friend of mine. He does a podcast called Mythic Heathens. And of course, I'm like, he's a good friend of mine, and I know his podcast name. Let's see. It'll say right here, Highly Posable. That's what it is. I I knew it was something simple, but and he's got a couple of them there that he's gonna show off, and because he does a lot of 3D printing, and he makes heads and stuff for Mythic Legions and 3A and Mezco. And he's going to have a table at Legions Con this year, and
Oh, that's cool.
he's gonna take some of her capes and
Awesome.
jackets to Legion's Con. So we'll get
That's cool.
yeah.
So she'll have a mini consignment of sorts. That's really awesome.
Yeah. So it's good. It's called Hooked in a Flash.
Hooked in a Flash.
That's her business name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Hook is in crochet hook.
Yeah.
And Flash is in her favorite superhero. So Hooked in a Flash.
Yeah. Okay. So are you guys gonna go see the new movie?
I'm not. I don't know. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I love superheroes and superhero movies, but I don't know. DC, like I haven't watched any DC movies that except that last Batman movie, which was a snore fest. I watched Man of Steel, and I haven't really watched anything past Man of Steel. I haven't watched Batman versus Superman or the Snyder Cut, or we watched Aquaman. Aquaman was okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm like a movie critic, film snob who I don't really care much for any movie.
Yeah.
Other than Bone Tomahawk, I guess. but like that's why when I liked Bone Tomahawk, I was like, holy shit, I really like this, because it takes a lot for me to just like fall in love with a movie.
Yeah, I've experienced that a couple times. I mean, like when my buddy Jason, we went to a movie called Last Samurai, and it was like this weird experience. Like we literally transcended, and it was this whole immersive experience, even though it wasn't like a 3D movie. It wasn't any bells and whistles or anything like that. It was just, we got sucked into that movie, and it was just like it was over, and we looked at each other and we were like, whoa, like that was insane. And I don't know, we were like both in shock, and we're like, what time is it? And we've looked, and here I had a bunch of missed calls from my mom. She was texting me like, where are you? This movie should be over. What are you doing? Because she dropped us off at the movie theater. And so it's like, oh, we came out and we were like, wow, I didn't realize how long that movie was. It was 3 hours, and it's like, wow. Yeah. So it was movies like that there's just something about them that transcends. And like, and then you go back and watch some of them, and it's like, oh, well, I don't remember why I was obsessed with this before. Like, because it's like, I guess it's good, but I don't realize why I was so obsessed with it. There was a couple movies like Outlander with Jim Caviezel in it.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the trailer, and I really want to watch it. Yeah. I really do, but I haven't watched it, and it's one on my list to watch.
I think my favorite part was when all of a sudden what I'm trying to say is there was a cameo by Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Pops up, and he's just like, fetch me my blade, woman. And it's just like, wait, was that Ron Perlman? And it's like that's crazy. So yeah, there was that one, and there was a wolf one. It's not the White Wolf, but
Brotherhood of the Wolf.
No.
It
had
Balto.
Carl Urban. It had Carl Urban.
Oh yes. Yeah, he's like a Viking that lived with the natives. Yeah, I've got it in my DVD collection. I want to say like Legend, but I know it's not Legend. It's something like that. I know the one you're talking about. It's got the Kruger, or from the Kurgan. That's what I mean. The Kurgan. What's his name? Mr. Krabs is the head Viking. He's the main he's like the main Viking. Yeah, that movie's cool too. I like that one. Yeah. Because I saw that in the theater when it came out, and I really dug it. But there was a part where he's like,
Pathfinder.
There you go, Pathfinder. Where he's like, okay, you go back to the village, and warn people, and I'm gonna go across, and I'm gonna go this way and do it. And like they both go like the same way, the same distance, and the little girl like makes it to the village in like 20 minutes, and it takes him like 2 days to get around the lake. I'm like, But,
Interesting. Interesting choice there.
yeah, but no, that movie's cool too.
Yeah, but it's like I remember watching that and being obsessed with it, and then I went back and watched it, and I'm like, it's good, but I don't remember why I was so obsessed with it. I mean, because I don't know, it was just weird. I don't know, it was one of those things where it's like you'd been going through a slump and haven't seen a really good movie, and then all of a sudden you watch that one and it's just overpowers everything. And you're like, oh man, I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that I just thought of the name, Mr. Krabs, Clancy Brown. That's the guy's name. He's the head Viking in that movie. Yeah.
Clancy Brown. That's awesome. Yeah.
That guy rules. Lex Luthor and Justice League, the cartoon.
Yeah, he's just an awesome voice actor, actor all around. I mean,
did you watch the Justice League cartoon?
Yes.
Back like the when he switches bodies, or he switches like minds with the Flash, so he's in like the Flash's body, and he's like in the mirror, and he's like, "Finally, we'll see who you really are." And he pulls the mask up, and he's like,
"I don't know.
I have no idea. I have no idea who you are." Yeah. I love it. It's just like, what the hell? Yeah, I love that.
That's an awesome one. Yeah. I don't know. There's so many good ones that he's been in. Like, so he was in. He's Sergeant Zim in Starship Troopers. Yeah, he was also in obviously the Mandalorian, but
yeah, he was. Yeah.
He's an awesome dude.
Like, I love that he was in Mando. But I feel he was wasted on that throwaway character that, like, you couldn't even really know it was him. You know, like, he could have been the voice of a really cool alien or something that was, like, for instance, that seaweed pirate captain at the end of the line. That could have been his voice. It would have been cooler, right? But
I don't know. I think it was cool to have him in the episode and have his horns get chopped off, and I thought it was cool, like him being in it, and like, I don't know, it felt, I don't know, but yeah, the seaweed captain would have been cool had he been voice of it. But
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, if he would have been the voice of the seaweed guy.
Yeah. I mean, because he would have, I don't know, he probably would have committed the scene and made everyone forget everything and ever.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, when the pirates came in, I was like, oh boy, are we gonna see Hondu? You know?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this would be cool to bring Hondu in, because I'm sure he's still alive, you know, because he was there in Rebels, so he very well could still be alive.
Yeah, he very well be. I mean, I would be shocked if he didn't make an appearance at some point, but
I was talking to some friends about that, and they think that he's going to be in the new Ahsoka show, because since he was more involved with the Rebels crew. And since we're seeing that, like, the Rebels crew will be in Ahsoka, maybe Hondu will be around with Ezra or somebody.
Yeah, it's hard to, I don't know. I imagine he'll make an appearance at some point, but I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to see him live action, but I don't know. There are some people that are against that, like Cad Bane. They thought it was a mistake to bring Cad Bane in.
No, he was awesome. I think he was awesome. I agree with some people that the hat was a little was different, but whatever. It was still cool to see Cad Bane, and then I didn't like kind of how he died, you know. But I get it. Oh, we don't know if he did or not.
He did not die.
Yeah, because to have him die like that against like fat old Boba Fett. You know, it's like, come on, like you already kind of made Boba Fett uncool. You know,
I
like,
don't know. I still think he's awesome, Boba Fett, because I really liked his arc. I
yeah,
liked that they made him see like, okay, well, the point is to have a family, like,
yeah,
and the Tuscans made him stronger. Like if you have someone you can rely on, you know that they're doing what they're supposed to do and all that. So it's like it feels like he's gone back to his roots, like because he should have been a clone
hmm
and surrounded by his brothers and sisters and stuff like that. He should have been a clone. So it feels like almost like a full circle for him to come to that realization through the Tuscans, because he realized having a family doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. You know, it's just, I think that was a really cool story arc.
So, well, speaking of Star Wars villains, did you see who was just added to Dr. Aphra as a villain in the comic book? That is a great addition, which means we may see him, is Dirge.
Oh, yes. I
Yeah,
did remember seeing that.
so they made him canon, so
Yeah.
he would be so cool to go up against Mando.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned with how difficult he might have fighting Dirge, because he was a force to be reckoned with
Yes.
in the Clone Wars. So yeah, I'm nervous what might happen, but yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I remember reading one of those old the Clone Wars comics from Dark Horse, where like Dirge picked up a Jedi and like shoved him in hot lava and like burned off his arms just to like kill the Jedi, but
Yeah.
you know his his arms regenerate. So
Yeah.
and the thing, like, I can't remember, was he like the last of his species? Because that's a pretty fucking powerful species, you know, like
For sure.
unless they're so like if evolution or like they're just so top apex, you know, that
Yeah.
there's so few of them around is something, you know, to think too. Like they're just spread so thinly because they're so apex.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be really cool to find out a little bit. Maybe peek behind the curtain just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. Dr. Aphra takes place before A New Hope. So, although I suppose him being in the Mando era isn't too
Yeah, well,
far-fetched.
Who knows, man?
Especially if he lives long time. So.
Yeah, who knows? Because like who I'd really like to see if you read those old comics is like Kruk. It's like Kruhk, Kruk. He was in the Star Wars. He's in the Star Wars Dark Times comic. He survived Order 66 with he had a speeder full of younglings that he survived. He was a Padawan, and his master got killed helping them escape.
Okay.
And so he becomes the master to about six Padawans out, or not Padawans, but younglings, six younglings. Yeah. And they go out to like the Outer Rim and they survive, and it's kind of like him as their mentor and teaching them. It was a pretty good story, and then if you read Star Wars Legacy, the one where it had like Luke Skywalker's like great grandson or whatever, that was like he was on the Jedi Council like 500 years down the line because his species is similar to Yoda and is just so long lived that he survived and he's on the council then.
Interesting.
He was a really cool character.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like they've already kind of used some of that in canon, so I'm not sure if it'll happen. But yeah, that would be cool to see that. I mean, it doesn't seem that totally implausible that they would actually have people that escaped, but I don't know.
Like,
I feel like it would be more of a testament to Darth Vader. Like, yes, he took out all the Jedi, but there's these few stragglers remain.
yeah.
And I feel like
Because,
it lessens Darth Vader by
well,
first of all having Inquisitors to help hunt him. But yeah,
I think it's does, like you said, it lessens that have Inquisitors, and I don't know, man, because how many Jedi total were there?
well,
Like,
at the time of Attack of the Clones, they said, "Oh, I'll round up what Jedi we have," and so presumably all the Jedi were in that temple, in that arena at the time. So unless
you think it was only that? You only think it was that many? Like as only like 50 Jedi throughout the galaxy?
well, yeah, except for the ones who were on missions and stuff. So it's just like
Oh,
when you
because
think about that, it's like that's crazy.
I think that I thought there was much more than that, because I always thought it was like unbelievable that only like 2 of them survived, and now maybe like 5 or 6 survived that we know of. But I don't know. I just like the ones that survive than their stories. I think it's cool. Kind of like in the new Jedi games, not Kanan, Cal Kestis, like how he survived Order 66 and stuff.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I haven't played the game because I don't have a PlayStation 5, unfortunately. But oh well.
Yeah, the first one was cool. Was really cool.
Yeah.
And but I haven't played the sequel yet because I don't have a PlayStation 5 or a Series X, but I should have had one yesterday. But but GameStop is screwing up my pre-order, man. They're like, our FedEx delivery hasn't come in. I'm like, your FedEx delivery hasn't come in? Like, whatever.
Believe that when it happens. I don't know.
But yeah, that's one of the games I'm really looking forward to playing.
Yeah. And so that is out for Xbox too, so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play it. I think that would be awesome. But I say that, and I still have the other one sitting on my shelf to play, and I still haven't completed it. But I don't know. I was holding on to it because I was like, oh yeah, I'll use this one and play through it, and then I'll be super excited for the next one when it comes out. And then I was like crushed because I found out, it's only next gen platforms.
Yeah.
Like, well, crap.
Dude, the first one, you should still give the first one a go.
Yeah.
Because it's not on. You don't need a next gen to play it.
Right.
And it goes really heavy into the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers, and it's really cool.
That's awesome.
It made me like love Ventress more, even though she's not in it, but just to learn more about the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
That whole order is interesting, and I don't know. I think it's really cool. And I mean, again, they have an entire planet of witches riding rancors, and they never go to it. It's like, what are you doing? Stop going to Tatooine. Let's go see this planet, a jungle planet where people are,
it's just
rancors.
It's just so dangerous, man. Like Mando's like, we have to stop and make an emergency pit stop. And so he's like, oh, get off this planet. But he still can.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I bet, because I mean, I don't know. I think Mando's dangerous and deadly, but I don't think he could take on the Night Sister magic, like the stuff they have going on. It's just like, okay, that's compared to the cartoons. I mean,
they're almost like Jedi in their own right, like a different type,
right?
And it's cool. That's something that hasn't been delved into, or almost like not delved into, or they were like, oh, okay, we went too far with this, and then because I don't know, you don't really see too much of it as I don't know.
Unleashed 2, I think, was one game that touched on it.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it much else. But
and then this one, just a couple episodes of the cartoon. We know Ventress. Is one.
Yeah, and Darth Maul and
Savage.
Yeah, and Savage, but did they ever? I forget. I forget if they ever said that he is from Dathomar.
I'm sure he is. That's one thing too, man.
Let's see. Yeah, they say, he's a Dathomirian Zabrak. Okay. Because I knew Zabrak was the thing that I was thinking. I was like, oh wait, no, he's a Zabrak, but no, they're saying he's a Dathomirian Zabrak. It's like, okay, interesting. Hey.
Yeah, that's right. There's different varieties of Zabraks. Ones that are from Dathomir and ones that are from like Zabrakia.
Yeah,
and they have like different horns. Yeah. I think it is like the Dathomirian ones have the style that like Darth Maul has, and then the other kind are, I can't remember, kind of like those big horns or whatever. Kind of what dude we were just talking about, Clancy Brown, is like a Zabrak or whatever.
Yeah, is he? I don't know.
I think that's what it was.
There was another Zabrak on the Jedi Council.
Yeah, he had the long hair that came down. Yeah.
Heath Koth, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But
yeah, Emperor killed him there, right?
Yeah, pretty handily. Yeah,
easily. I was like, that was a scene I didn't. He's like, I expect you to die. Just like kills two of them. Just no problem. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That was rough. But I mean, then again, I've seen the rebuttals where it's just like, hey, you're under arrest, but nope, no one can truly respect or truly know what to expect when someone just goes into a full 920 from a prone position. It's just like
nobody who's not a Jedi, they should like I guess they're like, okay, we've captured them.
Yeah.
So anyways, like, what? Oh.
Yeah. Oh no, half of us are dead. It breaks my heart because like that scene was so so condensed, because I mean there was things like early scripts and stuff where they were talking about like Kit Fisto was beheaded and his head was sitting on his desk, and Anakin's coming in and he sees all this stuff, and it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think that the expanded version of that would have been so awesome. It breaks my heart.
Poor Kit Fisto.
Hey, yeah, we got zombie customs up in here. How's it going? Goth chicks that can raise the dead. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They rule.
Exactly. Yep. Yep, it is. But I don't know. Oh boy. Well, I guess we should probably wrap up so I can.
Yeah, my wife's been making. They finished dinner. I've been smelling it this whole time. I'm like,
yeah.
She's making. She's like making homemade chicken strips. So,
ooh,
so they'll be pretty good. Yeah.
Sounds yummy.
But yeah, man, it was fun talking to you, and dude, and give me that information about your bud's book there, and
yeah, we'll do.
And I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, and to all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us, and stop by our merch table with all the selection, and join our Facebook group. Also, you can find that in my bio. And until next time, We'll see you. Peace out.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box? What's in the...
That's not the one I meant to play. This one.